At 12:30 p.m. on November 22, 1963, 3 gunshots echoed through Dallas. President John F. Kennedy was struck. The world froze. But one question remains. Was it really just one shooter? This story isn't closed, it's just getting started. Clint Hill, Secret Service agent, leapt from the follow-up car. He climbed onto the limousine, shielding Jackie. His reflexes were fast, but not fast enough. For 60 years, he lived with guilt. Maybe if I moved sooner, he'd still be alive. Earlier that morning, crowds in Dallas cheered. Jackie, radiant and pink, waved beside JFK. The city of hate embraced them with hope. It felt like a turning point. No one imagined it would end in blood. The first shot missed. The second hit Kennedy's neck. The third struck his head. Screams followed. Blood painted the limousine. Bystanders ducked. Zapruder's camera caught it all, every frame of disbelief. At Parkland Hospital, doctors fought to save JFK. He was still breathing when they arrived. But after 30 minutes, the effort ended. The young president, dead. America, shattered. 70 minutes later, Lee Harvey Oswald was found in a movie theater. Calm, quiet, armed. He denied everything. But his arrest sealed him as the prime suspect. Forever. 2 days later, in front of TV cameras, Jack Ruby pulled a gun and shot Oswald live. In the basement of Dallas Police Headquarters, one assassin silenced, one mystery deepened. The Warren Commission blamed Oswald alone. They said one bullet hit both JFK and Connolly, but critics called it magic. Could one bullet really do that much damage and stay nearly intact? Grassy Knoll. The name still whispers through conspiracy forums. Some swear they saw a second shooter. Others heard more than 3 shots. Was there more than Oswald? JFK's death ended America's age of innocence. Distrust grew. Conspiracies flourished. The bullet didn't just hit a president. It fractured a nation's belief in its own truth. Jackie Kennedy stood beside Lyndon Johnson as he was sworn in. Her pink suit still soaked in her husband's blood. When asked to change, she refused. "Let them see what they've done," she said. It became an image no one could forget. Inside Air Force One, Lyndon Johnson raised his hand. Jackie stood beside him, dazed and quiet. The presidency had passed hands, but the room was filled with silence, grief, and shock. Millions gathered silently. Flags flew at half-staff. Even political enemies wept. JFK's death wasn't just a political tragedy, it was personal. For the first time, television showed an entire nation grieving in real time. On his 3rd birthday, John F. Kennedy Jr. stood beside his mother. As his father's casket passed, he raised his hand in salute. The world broke down. The image became a symbol of innocence lost. At Arlington Cemetery, Jackie lit the eternal flame above JFK's grave. It burns to this day. Not just for the man, but for what America lost with him. Oswald's rifle was found on the 6th floor of the Texas School Book Depository. 3 bullet casings lay nearby. But for many, the evidence raised more questions than answers. When reporters asked if he killed the president, Oswald said, "No, sir, I didn't shoot anybody." His mugshot, calm and cold, became one of the most haunting images in American history. Jack Ruby said he killed Oswald out of patriotism, grief, and rage. But many still wonder, was he silencing a man who knew too much, or just an emotional nightclub owner with a pistol? The official autopsy raised doubts. Diagrams didn't match photos. Descriptions conflicted. Some doctors believed the fatal shot came from the front. not behind. For conspiracy theorists, this was the smoking gun. JFK's assassination didn't just end a presidency. It birthed a new era of distrust. From CIA plots to mob ties to Soviet involvement, Americans would never see power the same way again. In the Zapruder film, one man stood with an open umbrella on a sunny day, right where JFK was shot. Some thought it was a signal. Others say it was protest, but no one has ever explained him fully. Some believe a shadowy figure, later called the Badge Man, was visible behind the picket. Declassified documents hinted that Oswald was on the CIA's radar. Some believe he was part of a bigger plan, maybe even used and discarded. To this day, files remain redacted. The Mafia had motive. JFK cracked down on organized crime. Jack Ruby had mob ties. Did they orchestrate Oswald's silence to protect something bigger? Or was it coincidence? Oswald once lived in the Soviet Union. During the Cold War, that made him a perfect villain or a perfect pawn. Was the USSR involved or just a convenient scapegoat? The CIA and FBI blamed each other. One withheld intel, the other failed to track Oswald. Layers of miscommunication or intentional cover-ups? History still debates where the fault truly lies. Within hours, Lyndon B. Johnson was sworn in. Some saw it as strength. Others whispered ambition. Did he simply step up or know more than he ever said? Over the years, several witnesses died under strange circumstances. Some called it coincidence. Others believed people were being silenced. The list keeps conspiracy theories alive. JFK's brain, removed during autopsy, mysteriously vanished. It was never found. Without it, some questions about the fatal shot can never be answered. In 1979, a government committee said JFK was probably assassinated as a result of a conspiracy. It contradicted the Warren report, but offered no answers. Just more questions. The so-called magic bullet is still preserved in the National Archives. It appears nearly undamaged, yet it supposedly shattered bones and passed through two men. To many, it defies physics. JFK supported civil rights, a stance that made him enemies. Some believe extremists opposed to desegregation had motive. His death froze that momentum, but also lit a fire for justice. Marina, Oswald's wife, was shocked and devastated. She admitted Lee owned the rifle, but insisted she never believed he could kill a president. Her interviews remain haunting. Officer J.D. Tippit was shot minutes after JFK. His death is often overlooked, but vital. Some believe Oswald killed Tippit to escape. Others say it's the key to the conspiracy. 4 days later, Kennedy's flag-draped casket moved through Washington. Drums echoed, horses trotted, millions watched in silence. It wasn't just mourning, it was America holding its breath. Bobby Kennedy never fully recovered from his brother's death. He called it a deep wound to the soul of the country. 5 years later, he too would be assassinated. Abraham Zapruder didn't want fame. His film haunted him. He said it was the worst day of his life. His footage became iconic, but it broke something in him. The White House felt empty. Staff reported silence in halls once filled with laughter. Caroline and John Jr. asked why Daddy wasn't coming back. No one had an answer. Moments before the shot, Jackie leaned to JFK and commented on the crowd. He smiled and said, "You certainly can't say that Dallas doesn't love us." They were his final words. For many Americans, time froze at 12:30 p.m. People remember exactly where they were, what they were doing. It wasn't just a national tragedy. It was personal trauma burned into memory. Across the country, newsrooms erupted into chaos. Reporters shouted, phones rang non-stop. Walter Cronkite, eyes red, announced to millions, "The President of the United States is dead." The world changed in that moment. Jack Ruby claimed he killed Oswald to spare Jackie the pain of a trial. But was he telling the truth or protecting someone? He was convicted, but the full motive died with him. Dallas was overwhelmed. Police feared riots, reporters flooded the streets, and ordinary citizens were shocked their city would now be etched in infamy. "We became the city that killed a president," one resident recalled. Lyndon Johnson addressed the nation just hours after taking office. His voice was steady, but his words shook. "I ask for your help and God's." The burden of history had just fallen on his shoulders. Kennedy was buried at Arlington National Cemetery among soldiers and heroes. His gravesite became a shrine. Tourists still visit, whispering, as if entering a sacred American myth. Air Force One brought JFK's body home. Inside the cabin, Jackie refused to leave his side. Behind her, America's new president sat quietly, unsure how to lead a grieving nation. The Secret Service was never the same. New protocols, new technology, new resolve. But for those who were there that day, especially Clint Hill, the guilt never faded. Before JFK's death, Americans trusted institutions. Afterward, everything was questioned. Elections, wars, even the moon landing. The age of conspiracy was born in Dealey Plaza. JFK's legacy wasn't in how he died, but how he inspired. His words, his vision, his challenge to America. Ask what you can do for your country. That spirit outlived the gunfire. Even after decades, one question remains. Who really killed JFK and why? Maybe we'll never know. Or maybe the truth has been hiding in plain sight all along. A mysterious woman in a polka dot dress was seen fleeing the area after the assassination. Some say she laughed and shouted, "We shot him!" But no one ever identified her. Was it real or rumor? In 1959, Oswald defected to the Soviet Union. He lived there for years, married a Russian woman, and returned to the U.S. with little resistance. Was he watched or used? Thousands of pages about JFK's assassination remain classified. Even today, every few years, small pieces are released. But the biggest files? Still locked away. What's left to hide? Before his death, Jack Ruby claimed he was part of a larger plot. He said, "Everything will be revealed soon." But he died days later, taking his secrets with him. In the Zapruder film, JFK's head jerks back and to the left. For some, it proves a shot came from the front, contradicting the lone gunman theory. Jean Hill was steps away when JFK was shot. She gave dozens of interviews but later claimed her words were twisted, edited, and suppressed. "They don't want the truth," she warned. Oswald was caught in the Texas theater. He never bought a ticket. He slipped in, hid in the shadows, then tried to shoot the arresting officer. Why flee to a movie? Oswald kept a diary while in Russia. It revealed frustration, loneliness, and ambition. But parts are missing. Did he erase something, or did someone else? Some audio tapes from the hours after JFK's death have gaps, missing seconds, corrupted reels. Could those moments hold the truth? Or was it just a machine error? Many key figures died without ever speaking publicly. Agents, doctors, aides. Whether from fear or duty, their silence became part of the legend. And legends only grow louder in silence. Years later, documents revealed Operation Northwoods, a plan by U.S. military leaders to stage fake terrorist attacks and blame Cuba. Though never enacted, it showed how far some were willing to go, Could JFK's stance against such plots have cost him his life? JFK signed Executive Order 1110 to reduce the Federal Reserve's power. Some believe this made him enemies in high financial circles. Others call it coincidence. But the order was never enforced after his death. Ballistic experts argue the sound patterns of the shots suggest more than one gunman. Audio recordings taken nearby captured what some believe to be a fourth shot, never explained. A memo days before the trip warned of violence in Dallas, but security remained minimal. No rooftop spotters, no street blockades, just an open car and wishful thinking. Some witnesses say JFK's body arrived at Bethesda Naval Hospital in a different casket than it left Dallas in. Others claim the wounds had changed. What happened in between? Doctors at Parkland said the head wound looked like an entrance from the front. Navy doctors later said it came from behind. Could they all be wrong, or was something altered? Robert Kennedy reportedly launched his own quiet investigation. He never spoke of it publicly, but close aides say he didn't believe the Warren report. His silence may have been strategic or deadly. In 1981, a man claimed to have been part of the plot, but died in a mysterious fire days later. His name disappeared from the news. What did he know? Some witnesses saw a bullet hit the grass near the knoll, but it vanished. No casing, no trace. Could this be the proof of a second shooter that was quietly removed? 60 years later, the echoes of Dealey Plaza still ring. Millions visit the site, hoping to feel the moment, to find a clue. But perhaps the most haunting truth is, we may never truly know.